welcome traders to our midweek technical analysis video. So jumping straight into things here from where the market opened up, which is this candlestick here. As you know from our previous post-market review video, we spoke about price pushing back up to this point of interest of around 4,005, and we also spoke about this overall consolidation area. As you can see, price opened up bearish. Price ended up dropping down to around 3,963, give or take, and then price ended up pushing back up, again testing in and around this area of around 4,005. From there, price then became bearish, eventually finding a support at around 3,930, an area in which we can see that price has tested at previously and has acted as somewhat of a support, as you can see here. And as you can see here, we also ended up creating a little part of resistance here, so definitely a point of interest that we want to take into consideration. We'll leave that there for now. And then since that rejection, since price found that support, we've then seen a bullish rejection, with price carrying itself up to 3,977 to test it as a resistance, and price has now dropped back down, and it looks to be on the lower time frames creating a higher low in comparison to this low here. So obviously we've made our lower low, and then we've made a higher high and then a higher low now. So we'll just sort of see what happens to price from where it currently is now. As you can see, there is many points that we can go off of. For example, there's an area here that we could take into consideration. As you can see, price has tested this area as a support. If I drag it back into the past as well, you can see that price initially tested this level of support in this overall bearish drop. Price has tested as resistance and support multiple times. So definitely a level that we want to sort of take into consideration, and it gives us a better understanding as to why we can see price consolidating within this sort of price range. So what I will go ahead and do is I will take our fixed range volume profile, and we will just sort of measure the overall volume of this week so far. So let's go ahead and find where the market opened up, which is this candlestick here, and we're just going to drag it into the future, and we can establish roughly where we can see potential levels. So obviously we have our value area low, our value area high, and then our point of control. Interesting enough, our value area low is sitting on price is sitting around that area now, which is just sort of another confirmation telling us that this is a level that we want to take into consideration, and it is definitely a pivotal point for gold, as there is the sort of lowest area of value in and around this price range. So with that being said, what could we expect for the rest of the week? So like I spoke about in our post-week market review, since this initial bearish drop after this most recent all-time high, we saw price drop, create a low, and then consolidate. We saw this consolidation carry out for at least a week until the new week started, which was the last week, and then price dropped back down, created a low, and then has been moving sideways. The only difference with sort of this pattern here is that price has continued inside this consolidation throughout the first few days of this week's market. So with that being said, we understand that we are at a pivotal point indicated to us by our fixed range volume profile and just a visual psychological level that we can take into account. So what could we expect from here? Obviously, price has rejected off of this low, an area where we have seen price test as support. So in terms of a bullish possibility, we're seeing a confirmation there. We're also seeing price break above this level that we just established as our value area low using our fixed range volume profile. Price has dropped back down to this level and looks to be forming some sort of support slash higher low that is going to help gold gain that momentum and enough momentum to then push price up above that 4,000 level and go ahead and test that level of 4,005. Remember, we also spoke about anything above that 4,000 level being we will accept that the market is bullish. Anything below that level of 4,000 is going to be bearish. But we spoke about a considerable amount of pips that we needed to see price drop to actually solidify those overall market biases. So for example, we obviously spoke about this level here being that sort of final level of support. If we saw this level broken significantly sort of in the early hours / late night on Tuesday, if we saw this level broken through and price continued all the way down to about this level here, 3,895, then we would definitely consider it bearish. However, as you can see, price has sort of swallowed itself back up to this sort of middle pivotal point. We obviously have this point of interest here marked in by a horizontal ray, and we have our other points of interest. So what I'm going to expect is, I'm just going to expect one thing for price to happen from here. I reckon price is going to push up to around 4,005. Obviously, we have all of these sort of high levels, or all of these highs that have been created that we would definitely need to see broken through. If we see price come up to test in and around these levels here, then we're just going to expect price to react as a resistance and then drop back down and continue this consolidation. If we see a break of this highest point here at around 4,045, then we will consider price pushing into this not last week's but the week before's consolidation area, and then sort of start moving closer and closer to create a new all-time high, because as you can see, we are sort of in the depths of this overall bearish drop. But I think by the looks of it on the higher time frame and the low, it looks like price is the bears are slowing down now, and it looks like the buyers are sort of picking up the pace again. So what I would expect to happen at some point today is price to push up to this level of 4,007. If price breaks through this level, and then we're looking for price to test these highs, a considerable price or a significant price for us to actually keep an eye on, to then establish whether price is actually broken or not, would be the level of around 4,050. If we see price significantly break structure of that level, then we'll accept that price will probably start moving and testing in within these two areas here, this sort of 1,000 pip range between 4,150 and 4,050. So with that being said, that's going to be our midweek technical analysis video. As always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you have any questions, be sure to drop a comment below, as I will be able to respond to that and I'll be able to go into detail with you and your question. But obviously, if you're enjoying, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, hit that like button. It helps more than you can imagine. And yeah, I'll catch you in our post-week market review.